You know who broke up that 2-point conversion in the end zone?
Will Johnson.
That was Will J. So listen, Will Johnson is the newest member. He is the newest member of the Destination Ann Arbor family. So it is time, folks, for us to get into it. And we're going to get you. Listen, I promise. I've already talked to the Johnsons. I said we got to get the Droppin Dimes crew. We got to get everybody. We got to get everybody there. They're buffs. They're turnover buffs.
Hold on. Hold that thought.
Oh, see, DG got to go. Oh, I'm sorry. DG has to go get like buffs, like the buffs. DG has to go get he said, I got to go get the real ones. That's DG for you. While DG is doing that, man, you know what? Why you got come on, man. Can't we just all wear the same buffs?
Nah, I'm gonna wear the real buffs, I think I'm gonna just go ahead with the real buffs. But I like yours though.
All right, well, I got the turnover buffs. And this is the brand that Will Johnson, the newest member of the Destination Ann Arbor family, this is his brand. So first of all, as we get into the I Love Ann Arbor segment, it is time, like we always do, to drop the track.
Hey, Sam, drop that track.
So NIL is how it should have been when you guys were in school. We know that. It should be, I knew I was going to get some hallelujahs for that.
Amen.
I knew that was going to come.
Amen.
But, it's an opportunity for these young men and women to maximize their earning potential through their name, image, and likeness as student athletes.
Which they should have owned to begin with, but,
right. Yeah, well, don't get me started on the intercollegiate athletic model and amateurism and how much of a farce it's always been. But that's a whole separate conversation. Will Johnson has an NIL deal with Destination Ann Arbor. And one of the things that Destination Ann Arbor sets out to do is highlight all the different aspects of the places to go, the places to eat, the places to stay in Washtenaw County. And so they do that as your tour guides, and we'll give you the QR code that you can scan and look at and use as your tour guide. Now you might be coming to town next weekend, or whenever you're coming. You want to know all the places, all the events that are coming to town, even for locals. It is great for that. But to have a current student athlete with the profile of one Mr. Will Johnson kind of taking you around to some of these spots puts it on a different level. One of the things I'm interested in doing, because I know all these guys like the steakhouses, so I want to see what his favorite steakhouse is. And if he has some places that he wants to go, but I thought it'd be a cool idea if we recommended some spots, whether it's some eating spots or some places that you in Ann Arbor or Washtenaw County that you think we should check out, or he should check out, or we should check out with Will. Drop them in the comment section of the video, and we will hit some of those spots. But this dude, I watched him grow up. I remember him going out in the Sound Mind, Sound Body camps as an 8th grader. He was an 8th grader competing against the high schoolers. And now he is out there balling for the university. And when I say he looks like he looked at the end of last year. You remember they threw the fade in the end zone? They tried to get him in the first quarter. He got that one out there, and then at the end they tried to hit the tight end. And, Will looked like he had dropped back in zone and came out of that and knocked that ball away. And you see him off the field. There isn't a guy who's more – you want to talk about a guy who is about his business?
I don't know what his voice sounds like. He don't talk. He don't say nothing. Right? I really, literally, if he was talking outside my door, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know who it was. I'm like, who's that whispering out there? What are we doing? He don't talk. He is a business-like individual. Even when I used to see him in high school, I never really talked to him just because it's just I don't want to bother you. Right? He's just about his business, man. I mean, he got a good smile. He smiles every once in a while, but you can tell, man, just his ability, and obviously a lot of the credit goes also to his family, his dad and his mom, but he is a business-like individual. He's a pro. He's been acting like a pro since he was about a sophomore in high school, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's right. He does. He has grown man tendencies. He
Yeah,
had grown man.
he back like a pro since he was like a sophomore, man. Maybe even as a freshman, but I remember like my first glimpse of him was as a sophomore. He's had a workman-like approach in everything since that time, and it's just like this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, you look at Will. You looked at Will in senior high school. You felt like he had a mortgage, like he was paying a mortgage somewhere, because he was just that about his business, right? His website, by the way, where you can get your own turnover buffs or turnover buffs gear, will2johnson.com. That's Will the number 2 Johnson.com, and you can get your buffs gear, your turnover buffs glasses, which I thought this was an unbelievable concept, because you get fans, you include them. That's the thing, man. If you can include fans in the experience, any way, shape, or form, the best athletes do that. You make the fans feel a part of it. And that's what, to me, that's what made the turnover buffs concept so great.
Yeah.
Is, hey, you know how we go on the sideline, folks, and we go get the
Get
buffs
you
every
some.
time. You can do the same thing every time we get a turnover. Put on the buffs, and so that's why when took a picture a couple weeks ago, every time they do it, I just tweet a picture of that. Charles does the same. Charles Woodson he tweets a photo of himself in the buffs every time they score. Tracy Wolfson, another Michigan love, every time they score, puts on it, but she tweets it out. So the Michigan people are kind of getting behind it, and the fans, I really think, is going to pick up, and it'll explode if this matchup that we're about to see next week. We're going to try to get Will. We're going to try to get him on for next week. Probably not during the week. We might have to record it because it's Ohio State week. But fellas, Devin, this is what it's Michigan, Ohio State, but then it's taking on number 18. Like this is on a whole different level right here. This is when turnover buffs goes national. It's not a Michigan thing, just a Michigan thing anymore. If you do your thing against number 18.
Will Johnson has an opportunity to be a top 3 pick in the NFL draft. Just because corner may not go number 1, that's tough. If he goes out and they task him with stopping one of the best receivers of a generation, one of the best body control, flexibility, speed, separation, route running, big, strong, whatever you need in the wide receiver, it's like they created him in a lab. If he can go out there and, he's uniquely equipped to be able to. Tall, long, disciplined in his technique. He's fully healthy. If he can go out and do that, man, that NIL deal might not be enough with Destination Ann Arbor. You have to read him up. I'm telling you right now. If he does that, they may not only will they talk about Michigan, but they may be talking about Will Johnson in specific segments, all on every national show of like, this is the Marvin Harrison stopper. Like, on the biggest stage possible, he stood tall and locked down a receiver that everybody universally believes is the best receiver of a generation. Whew, that's tough. Hey, this is the type of thing that's going to make us say, you no longer get to talk to me directly. You call Sam, you call me, and that's how you're going to get to me. Nobody talks to Will Johnson directly from here on out if he does that.
What's my man name? Frank. Frank.
There is no more talking to me directly, and never on the phone. You talk to Sam talk to Devin talk to my mom. You know what I mean? That's how it's gonna work. But with no more talking to Will Johnson directly if he does that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't expect, even if he is tasked with doing some man-to-man coverage on he almost certainly will. But I don't think they're going to do it the whole game. I mean, the dude.
I know they're not going to let him run free through the defense like the rest of these teams are. I tweeted out the other day, how are we continuously letting him run free through the zone? You better put some hands on this man. Treat him like he's generational. What are we doing? How are we letting him just run freely through defenses without getting aggressively touched? I don't get it. And I don't think they're going to allow that. I don't think.
I think that's definitely going to be the game plan. If they win, it won't be that dude. Like we'll bring a safety over the top if we have to, right? We'll see what.
Yeah, we don't have no pride in it now. Hold on.
Right. So listen, folks. Very, very excited that we're gonna have Will on a few episodes here on the I Love Ann Arbor segment, and he's going to be previewing some of the places that he's going to take us. If you have some places you recommend, including for us, because we're going to be doing our tour of our favorite spots in Ann Arbor, but we are welcoming to all suggestions as well, whether it's places to eat or, kind of venues or things to take in Ann Arbor. Drop them down in the comment section, and we'll be sure to add a couple of those to the mix as we get out and about and head around town. And certainly there's going to be a lot to talk about as we get deeper into the conversations with Will, and certainly after the Big Ten. That is essentially the Big Ten championship game, because whoever wins Michigan Ohio State will without question win the Big Ten championship. Can you believe Iowa is tracking to go back?
I got Iowa, Illinois this week. I got the game. So
That's
I got the game. If they win, they are going to the Big Ten championship, and it'll be 2 in 3 years, which is very impressive. Even though they're in the West, it's still impressive to get the championship twice.
It's sad is what it is, DG, that the West is so bad that a terrible, the worst offense in all of college football can be a champion.
Hold on now, Sam. They had 400 yards of offense this past week. Just saying.
In one game?
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. Yeah. That's somebody was cheating. Somebody was cheating to make that happen. I can hardly buy it. Something happened.
They had 400 yards of total offense against Rutgers, a pretty good defense.
Kirk Ferentz might cry after the game again.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
I'm trying to tell you, they made it, figured it out.
All right. Well, as I've been saying, your tour guide to all things Ann Arbor is Destination Ann Arbor. Right now, I'm going to bring up for folks the QR code so you can always check it out. Any of the spots that you might want to, whether it's places to eat or places to stay. As I always say, Destination Ann Arbor is your tour guide to all things Ann Arbor, so you can be sure to check them out. So let me go ahead and add them to the mix right now so you can see for yourself.
Ferris Khan, I know Penn State beat Iowa 31-0, but they had a different quarterback.
All right, folks, that is your QR code. So scan that for Destination Ann Arbor, your tour guide to all things Ann Arbor. Even if you want to have an event in town. That was one of the things that I was excited to hear. People do weddings and gatherings and reunions and that kind of thing. Destination Ann Arbor can be a resource in that regard too, in addition to letting you know all the great events and places to go around town as well. Again, Destination Ann Arbor.